Okay, cue video loud music. Don't have that. So I'll do my random story. So last night in bar, I think Kimberly was telling me that Terry every year sits at the front and he takes the most notes. He takes more notes than everybody. In fact, I just saw him during the break and he was continuing to take those notes. And I was wondering last night, like, why would he do that? Surely he's the man, he's got people whispering at him, advising him what's going on. And then this morning he gave the talk and he talked about all those amazing ideas, those initiatives at Macy's. And then he talked about that kind of cost reduction program they're thinking. I was like, oh, it all makes sense. You run your own conference, you get these amazing speakers to share all their kind of secrets. Then you're like, get that line, no more McKinsey, no more IDEO, save some money. I like your style, nice. So that was my music video bit. Okay, so I've been publishing a future retail report for 7 years. Has anybody come across any of the findings before? Oh, a few of you, a couple of you. Anybody seen the latest one? Well, cool, a few. So the good news for the people who have seen the latest report is I have refreshed the report. It's full of new ideas, new slides I've never presented before. The bad news is, if you've never seen this before, I've never presented the slides or all the examples. So we'll see how it goes. Because what happened was, I told my team, I'm going to this great retail presentation. We better refresh a couple of the examples in the report. Maybe something's happened. And what happened was they refreshed every bloody idea in the report. Because what's happening is there is so much change. There is so much cool stuff, so many ideas being experimented with. So as a speaker, that is scary and exhilarating. As an audience, I'm sure that's scary and exhilarating as well. What happened over the 6 or 7 years we were publishing these reports is, as you know, we saw these two earthquakes happen almost at the same time. We saw social and mobile cause these seismic shifts in consumer shopper behavior, so much so that we are still living through the effects of that. In fact, that shopper, what happened is the shopper broke free from us. And the shopper continues to innovate and find new behaviors and new ways of shopping, and is always at least one step ahead of us. And the challenge is Silicon Valley continues to give them toys so that they continue to play and they continue to innovate and find new projects, new ways to do things. And so what's happened, because we've been watching this shopper kind of do all this crazy stuff in our stores online, is we've thrown all this money at technology. We've invested in beacons. We've invested in whatever the latest topic is of the year. And it's been fine, but I'm sure some of you may have been a little bit disappointed with the success of some of those trials. And it's fine. You've got to go try these things. And obviously, there's a lot of things talked about today. VR. When's VR going to come? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? And I talked to some of you. I've met some of you over the last few years. And one of the things that I realize is happening is there's such a focus on technology, and there hasn't been a step back and go, maybe we just want to look at that purchase path. Maybe we want to look at the shopper experience, the theater of it all, the kind of the romantic vision. What are we doing with that shopper? What is the relationship along that purchase path with the shopper? And how do we dance with them along that way? Because we're so busy just trying to get the tech which talks to their tech. So in this latest report, when we started doing these trend reports, we did trend reports. Now they're far more action-orientated. And so today, I'm going to take you through 10 pillars to designing the new shopper experience. They are based on the trends that we're monitoring in the marketplace. And I'm going to take you through the trends, I'm going to take you through the big ideas, take you through some of the examples, try my best to remember what they are, considering they're all new. But I'll take you through. So the first one is about creating confidence. Creating confidence is about providing shoppers with tools, providing them with advice so that they can find the right product that's right for them. It doesn't always mean like bespoke. I love Nike ID, it's great for some people. It doesn't have to be totally tailored. It's just going to be the right product for me. Laneige, I probably pronounced that completely wrong, is a Southeast Asian brand, beauty brand. And they've created this app which helps people find the right product for them. I'm going to let my two friends explain it.
유럽 계획을 세우고 있지. 노르웨이 가봤어? 소개팅 들어왔다.
진짜?
오랜만에 사진 좀 찍어볼까?
야, 너 화장 안 하고 그냥 찍게?
다 방법이 있지. 짜잔. 이거 좀 봐봐.
이게 뭔데?
먼저 비비 쿠션으로 톤업하고 역시 립은 핑크지. 아니야. 요즘 대세는 투톤이야. 아이라인은 선명하게. 마스카라로 아찔한 속눈썹을. 블러셔는 이게 좋겠어. 이것 봐. 움직여도 완벽하지?
와, 신기하다.
이것도 봐봐. 완전 대박이야.
와, 이쁘다. 와, 잘생겼다. 좋겠다.
소개팅 날 이렇게 하고 나가야겠다. 지금 사용한 제품들 여기서 한 번에 살 수 있다. 그럼 이 메이크업대로 한번 사볼까?
나도 해볼.
So she goes through that wonderful, playful experience, and then she can buy the product that she's tried all the way through. I'm kind of glad I just don't date anymore. You know, like your picture turns out so cute. Scary. I'd rather be in this world of retail, this scary world of retail. So talking about kind of helping people understand the kind of best product, the best environment for them, IKEA has been a wonderful innovator over the last couple of years, just trying new ideas. And they are experimenting with VR. I don't know whether you saw this. This is a new launch. They put it through the Stream platform. It runs on an HTC Vive headset. And it basically, I'll let the video run and I'll talk over it. This is somebody doing a demo of it. And so there you can see the guy with the headset on. You can see his arm movements. And he's basically walking around an IKEA set. And he can move around. He can pick things up. He can cook. He can go into the fridge. He can change his size. So maybe if he was a child, you can see what the experience looks like as well. And the idea is to kind of give people an idea about the types of products you can get there, how it's going to fit within your lifestyle. I don't think this has an output. You can't print it out and then take it to the store yet. But it's a very interesting exploration. So in terms of creating confidence, what are the kind of trends that are driving this? We see two trends. We see the trend of product immersion, so where retailers, brands create opportunities for customers to get hands-on with their products. And then this idea of guided recommendations, so one-on-one expertise, maybe in-store or through a chat app maybe, or even an automated service that helps people understand, get down to the best choice that's right for them. Friction is one of those big buzzwords in retail right now, and how to remove friction. I was talking to some of you earlier today about this. And in particular, the pillar that we talk about is this idea of eliminating obstacles. How can you remove friction at different points within that purchase path? This is actually the one example that hasn't been changed. And you may well know this, okay? So this is the Starbucks order and pay, okay? It is, I keep it in the presentation because it is such a success. Started in December 2014 in Portland, Oregon. It's then got rolled out later last year to the UK, well, domestically and then to the UK. I think in December there were 6 million users of this service. If you don't know what it is, it's basically you order in advance, and when you get to the coffee shop, you can get your drink or your cake or your goodies. We can have a quick video, see how it works.
Find your favorite drink on the menu. You can customize it with a number of shots, toppings, or flavors. Maybe hazelnut. How about a bite to eat? Bacon.
Yeah.
Your order will be sent to the nearest store, or select a different store to pick it up.
Actually, the video is out of date. They just about 2 days ago, they updated the app to fuse in their loyalty scheme. So what happens now, as I understand it, is contextual messages get sent to you before you leave or when you're in the store, which tries to kind of upsell you or tries to cross-sell you items based on kind of your previous behavior. So very interesting. In fact, actually, the other thing about before you all rush to go, we should build one of those. I mean, the conversation is like, has Starbucks created a digital currency? Maybe instead of like thinking, shall we accept Bitcoin? You go, should we accept Starbucks? It's an idea. There's so many people using this. Taco Bell is trialing this fun service, which is through a system called Slack. Anybody use Slack? Yeah, a few of you. Okay, so if you have an ad agency, you know the ad agencies where all the staff sit next to each other with headphones on, and they're all talking to each other through IM. Yeah, they're chatting away, and the account people won't let you talk to them because they're not very social. So often a lot of those people, more and more of those people are using a chat system for project management. They're talking to each other about the project, they're kind of going through the milestones and stuff like that. It's a very popular system within startups. Taco Bell's trying trialing a system which has an automated and AI chatbot, which allows those, I think Jane called them headphone zombies, to order their lunch. I took a GIF off the web, so some of you may see that, but this is basically somebody chatting to this bot. And the bot will take the offers, take the order, provide recommendations, make suggestions and things like that. So it's within the same system that they work in, which is interesting. So in terms of eliminating obstacles, we have kind of 3 trends we see driving this. We see this idea of anywhere purchase platforms. Anywhere purchase platforms means where you see it, you can buy it. You can buy it on Snapchat, you can buy it on social platforms, wherever you can get it, you should be, wherever you see it, you should be able to buy it. The idea of shop ahead, obviously we looked at Starbucks. Business Insider, I just read last night, Business Insider says that shop ahead will count for 20% of Starbucks sales by 2020. In fact, they suggest that it will take 10% of CSR sales by 2020 as well. And then we have one-click transactions. Let people see something and go. Find ways to hold their information, provide intuitive purchases. The third trend is around democratizing access. So it's around allowing people to experience products or providing experiences that they wouldn't have been able to get before. Maybe because of geographic reasons, maybe because of financial reasons. We have another beauty example. So O Particular, I knew I was going to do it right. O Particular is a Brazilian beauty company where they are streaming through Periscope beauty classes. So they've just started doing this. This gentleman is a very well-known Brazilian makeup artist. And what happens is 7,000 people, they've done it a few times, 7,000 people watch a Periscope video. I don't know if you know what Periscope is. It's a video you can watch on your phone. You can send through your own phone, and you can chat and leave emojis and stuff like that. And 7,000 doesn't sound much, but at the end of the day, it's 7,000 potential shoppers as well. At CVS, we had obviously Richard from Walmart, and Walmart doing some amazing things this morning. CVS has been running this minute clinic in the corner of their pharmacies. Recently, they've put in place a telehealth system. And this means that you can go in there, sit beside an assistant, and they will video conference call a doctor or a nurse to help them provide information. When they surveyed the users of the Minute Clinic, whether they would prefer to use a virtual service than a real doctor, 33% of them said they'd rather have a virtual medical check. And when they asked them, would you prefer to have a doctor over a physical doctor, real doctor, over a health system, a telesystem, only 1% of them said they would prefer that. So, I think Sarah was saying, you've got to change. You've got to kind of see these signs. You've got to see how things are changing, and you've got to be able to adapt. Trends that are driving this include ideas such as customer concierges, aspirational experiences. So how can you kind of provide some sort of service and system to kind of provide support to that customer along the purchase path? And ideas such as aspirational experiences. So provide kind of 360-degree experiences, use new technologies to put your customer in places they've never been before. The fourth pillar is around personalizing and recognizing. So understanding the context, understanding the information, understanding the preferences, and creating a bespoke service based on that. True Religion is a new idea they're trialing. So True Religion is the fashion retailer in Beverly Center, Soho, and New York, Soho. They're trialing this Apple Watch idea. So with the Apple Watch, basically, they gives the associates information about products. It allows them to kind of go through different products as they talk to the customer, the shopper, as they come in. And if you can see that blue square in the middle, they can also throw information from their watch onto that screen. And so they can continue the dialogue on a larger format. Another thing, which sounds a bit scary, is the watch can talk to your app. So if you're a True Religion fan, you may have the app with all your personal information, your personal preferences. The watch will scan that app as you walk through the store, and actually it will gather and provide personal recommendations. I think interesting what they're trying to do there. I don't know if you've heard anybody on this stage talk about a new Nike app. But this is a new app. I think it's going to launch in June, as I understand. So we're very excited about this idea, this kind of personalized content, personalized products. I think it's also going to allow you to jump to the head of the queue, head of the line if there was an event, get special offers, get special sock shoes, things like that. And then just kind of third example is Mona. Mona's this great bot that goes shopping for you. It's not just a quick search engine. Whilst you're sleeping, whilst you're away, she'll go away and look for things for you. So, she'll do that usual search. I'm looking for a certain type of top. I'm looking for a certain type of color, maybe even certain price points. And she'll look at, I think, 260 stores and look for products that are right for you. And then what happens is, as she gives them back, you swipe, as you do. Everyone's got to swipe left, right, whether you like them or not, yeah? And she begins to learn. Now, what also happens is, once you switch the app off, she continues to work and she continues to monitor for you. So last night, when I was supposed to be rehearsing this, I got to this part of the rehearsal, and I started, I try to test everything I present. And so I kind of lost an hour and a half with this app. First of all, I was just amazed she recognized that I was a guy. I was like, but she goes through your emails, actually, looks at your shopping receipts, which is a kind of interesting trend. You talk about security. So I come from a gray, rainy country. So shirts like this are really cool, exotic to me. So I'm like, and it's sunny outside. So I'm like, I'm trying to get my tan, as Robin said. I got a shirt off. So I'm looking at this. So this morning, I flicked it on during Rachel's presentation. I know Rachel's dress was amazing, but I just couldn't stop looking. I was like, keep scrolling, flick, flick, flick. It's a great experience, and it just learns it along the way. So, the trends that are driving this idea, such as kind of 360-degree service, this idea that you've got to provide the associate, store manager with the information they need so that they can act on it. Again, I think just as simple as the idea Richard was talking about when it comes to, I can just, I can refund. I can provide information. I don't have to constantly go up and ask different people for permission or for information. The associate themselves is armed with that information, whether it's customer data, whether it's inventory data. And then predictive assistance. These algorithms are so becoming so sophisticated, they're beginning to, they can preempt your desire, your want. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how we apply this in retail. The fifth theme is about promoting transparency. And so it's the idea of revealing how the product was made, the story behind it, and just allowing the shopper to kind of get to buy into that whole idea. Target's running a trial in Boston. Has anyone seen this? So they're doing a trial with MIT and IDEO, and basically, as you can see, it's a trial where they're kind of basically putting the product ingredients right up and center on the product packaging. As you know, there's a lot of concern about what's in products these days. We see various experiments taking place. I thought Amazon Elements was a very interesting experiment. And so, you just basically, and it's transparent as well. You can see what's in the packet. There, you can see all the ingredients, vegetables, spinach. On a slightly different note, the West Elm has been running this local project. I'm going to play a video, and it's going to explain it.
Over 70 stores, 500 makers, 4,500 products, one giant community. This is West Elm Local, celebrating communities across America. It all starts with the makers, who meet our shopkeepers, who handpick unique products for your neighborhood West Elm. By supporting local makers, you're helping to keep American craft alive, celebrating their goods and practices, and bringing local into every home. When you shop local, you're not just making a feel-good purchase, you're making a connection.
It's really cool. So what you can do is you go to the site, or you can go to special events. You can find out, they have specially commissioned product from that area, influenced by the people who work in the store. And you can go find out more information. They have videos about the maker. They'll link out to that maker's website, who might even have their own e-commerce engine as well. It's a very kind of interesting sort of project, and connects very well to kind of the audience as well. So we talk about storied products. We talk about giving customers kind of help customers see behind the front, see where it was made. You see examples of like who the farmer was. There's even you have the information to actually say who the person was who actually assembled this. So people want that information. They would love to have access to that information. And then the reciprocal relationships. We didn't really show it in those examples, but there's kind of a growing concern or a desire to kind of get something back. You're like, I'm giving you all this data. Yeah, you're getting all this information. You're tracking me. What do I get out of it? Just coupons. So kind of what more can you provide in terms of that relationship? The sixth idea is an idea around perfect partnerships. So how can you collaborate with like-minded brands to expand your offerings, to kind of create a halo around your brands and around your partners' brands? We've seen a whole bunch of examples here. Here's a fun one, Target. Target basically tried a trial with SoulCycle. As you know, SoulCycle is the trendy kind of gym brand out there. And basically, in 10 cities over 3 days, they held SoulCycle sessions in the store. I don't know whether it was up front or it was in the back. But and around that space, they sold co-branded merchandise. So Target meets SoulCycle merchandise, and they also sold it during that period online as well. Staples, you never think Staples would partner with anybody, but Staples is basically going to create a co-working space with this company called WorkBar. So they're going to trial it in Boston. Boston is the heart of innovation, retail innovation. Who would have known it? But basically, the idea is, they have all this space. You can order most of this stuff online. So why don't you, we could create co-working spaces there, and you're never going to run out of stuff. Yeah, you're never going to run out of paper clips. As I was looking at this, I was thinking about PetSmart. It's about half the audience here is PetSmart, yeah? I was like, I wonder whether PetSmart could do like a co-working space. I was like, because PetSmart to me, well, for a while, as bad dads, was like the free zoo. So I'd take my kids until they got big enough, yeah? And like, you see the cats, see the, cats for adoption, the snakes and stuff like that. And I was like, why don't you do one of those here's my free idea, okay? Cafe, co-working cafe, cats roaming around, dogs and stuff like that you can pet and maybe you can adopt. It'd be really cool. Leave the snakes in the things, but I think and you've seen it in Japan. They have those cat cafes. It could work here. Cross-channel, so a couple of trends that are driving this. We didn't come into it too much in the examples, but this idea of cross-channel rewards. So how can rewards be spent from one brand onto another brand's ecosystem? And then kind of additive experiences. How can you kind of expand the experience? How can you turn Staples into a co-working space and build a kind of new product experience? The seventh out of the 10 is this idea of optimizing ownership. So this is like, how do you help people get the most out of their product? There was a conversation earlier around, in the old days, you want to get them in, you want to get them out. So there's far more a focus on helping people get the most out of that product. So DJI is a pretty popular Chinese brand. And I think over the next few years, we're just going to see more and more of these brands that are coming from Asia that kind of that work like a Western brand, but obviously come from China and beyond. So DJI creates these drones, yeah? And particularly these drones with cameras that fly over your yard whilst you're sunbathing in it. And so they have, in Shenzhen, they have a flagship store where you can really learn how to use this. Because flying a drone is a pain. It's hard work. Trying to get that shot and everything else is hard work. You're too busy just trying to make sure it doesn't bump into the wall. And then you've got to get the camera pointing the right way. And so they have a number of things. They have a big theater where they have education sessions. And then you can see on the left-hand side, they have a special booth where you can fly different drones and you can get to know what's the right drone for you. And you can get basically personal advice. Hyundai has a AR app. It's interesting. We kind of see the return of AR. It was such a hyped thing a couple of years ago. It went quiet. VR is now going through that hype cycle. But AR, I believe, is going to be one of the big things for this year. Google Glass is going to come out later this year. We're going to see the kind of return of kind of AR experiences. So with this experience, you can basically point your phone, point your tablet at your car, and it will tell you how to fix it. I have a quick video.
This is the 2015 Hyundai Sonata, and this is the new virtual guide. It's sort of a digital owner's manual that helps you do things like check how much oil is in the car or fill up the windshield washer fluid. If you wanted to replace your air filter, you tap on air filter, it'll show you what you need to do and walk you through the process.
Of course, the joke is if your Hyundai's got the hood up, you know what you need to do? You pull out your phone, you order an Uber, and go. Sorry. No one works. Anyone work at Hyundai? Okay. Car dealerships. Okay, optimized ownership. So let's talk about the trends that are driving this idea of getting the most out of the product experience. So we see a couple of things. We see these kind of education experiences. We call it cultivated expertise, where you can come in, you can learn the most out of it, get the most out of like the camera or the tech that you might have bought. And then we also see always-on support. So kind of, as you have probably sensed, one of the big macro trends, or big mega trends, is this idea of text messaging, the return of text messaging as a brand interface, as maybe the main brand interface, the invisible app. And this invisible app is allowing brands through AI, through micro-staffing, to kind of have conversations with the customers on a big, big level. And they can provide support and provide this sort of expertise as well. Cultivating community is what it says, creating opportunities so fans can come together and kind of enjoy the product, share the product, and actually, again, kind of create a buzz around it. This is Audi. Audi has a trial in Stockholm where they are doing trialing a co-lease program. So 4 people can use the same car, lease the same car, and share the car during the week. I'm going to play a video. It's not the best video, but it gives you an idea.
Mobility engineered around you and your network. Built for life. Audi Unite is a new way of driving an Audi. Together with your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors. The Audi Unite app is your digital dashboard on the go. You drive, and Audi takes care of the rest. It lets you synchronize your schedules. Premium mobility.
Okay. So that film, for me as a presenter, has about 6 lines. So when the agency showed the client, they're like, oh, it's just a little video. It's got 6 lines in it. And then they made like a 3-minute video in South Africa, probably. As you can see the scheduling. You can see how people can share the information. They can find out where the car is, and they can co-own, co-lease a car. Samsung, have you been to the Samsung store in New York yet? So, you know, I guess it's the kind of ultimate experiment. It's the shop you can't shop in. It is the store that's all about experience. It's a flagship store where you can get to trial all the products, and you can get to trial, you know, their future vision as well. Now, Samsung identified a number of passion points that are important to their customers, and they basically create experiences around those passion points. They create, and therefore they kind of create events, whether it's a running event where you run with the product, there's more of a party, or there's a theater. And so they think about those. That's how they kind of created their programming in store. And so the trends we see driving this idea of cultivating community includes these themes such as cultural hubs and collaborative marketplaces. Hubs are kind of areas where people can come together, share ideas, experience the products. And it's interesting, we were talking about sneakers a minute ago, collaborative marketplaces. We see how brands are creating platforms that allow their fans to sell their products or secondhand products and resell products as part of the kind of consumer brand experience. The 9th pillar is around encouraging advocacy. So how can you tap into your consumers, into your shoppers, and encourage them to promote and sell on your behalf? This is Sony coming out of Japan. Sony has a lot of young people working at Sony who think they've got great ideas. And they come basically, they're all coming up with their ideas and they're telling their bosses. And for a while, you know, good old traditional Japanese structure, everything gets dampened down. But, you know, this is the new era. And so what they decided to do is take the most interesting of these ideas and they put them on a platform which acts like Kickstarter. Kickstarter, I'm sure you all know what Kickstarter is, yeah? It basically is a platform which allows people to fund people's ideas. So now Sony has a corporate version of Kickstarter. They put their employees' ideas out there, and there's co-funding of that product idea. And so basically what's happening is those customers are buying into the idea. They basically pay money, and then the company chooses a number of those products and takes them into production. So far, I think this has been running for about 9 months, and so far they've developed 3 products out of it. Tesco has this new chat board. If any of you know Reddit, it's this kind of place where people like always kind of leaving comments, exchanges, conversations. They created a chat board which allowed shoppers and customers to talk about the Tesco banking products. It seems to be very popular. They haven't advertised it yet. It's all in beta. But about 7,000 people are actively posting comments in the UK about the products, about the checking accounts or whether it's the saving accounts. And so a couple of the trends that we see driving this are ideas such as shopper-led exchange and crowd buy-in. Shopper-led exchange is around the idea of shoppers allowing or helping shoppers talk to each other, customers talk to each other, and provide advice to each other. And another one is about crowd buy-in. How can the crowd invest in a product with you and get it kind of created? And the final pillar is around delivering delight. So how can you provide unexpected perks? How can you kind of re-energize relationships? Marks and Spencer's in the UK, again, has an interesting loyalty scheme. The loyalty program works around not only kind of a transaction history, but also how often you interact with the brand. And the more you interact with the brands, whether it's through the kind of the website, the more points you get. And the more points, it opens up things such as special offers, invites to events. And there's an element of gamification. Again, Terry was talking about gamification earlier. There's a whole bunch of gamification to encourage people to kind of come back time and time again. And finally, the final example is Dandy Labs. And it's in this section, Delivering Delight, because it's trying to do all the things that we've been talking about in terms of personal recognition in a store. It's trialing this in London. It only just opened. I'm going to show you the sort of the dream experience.
Are you bored of shopping on the high street, where stores look the same and the sales assistants lack knowledge? What do you do? What if there was a store to make your shopping easier, engaging, and more personalised? The Dandy Lab is a menswear lifestyle shop enhanced by technology. Here you'll find great British products you can't get anywhere else. Our store window recommends styling tips just for you. For example, discover the perfect pair of shoes to go with your outfit that day. You'll be able to learn about your recommended shoes and where they are made. Products talk to you as you browse via your phone, so now you can feel even closer to the maker. Go to the magic mirror to virtually try on a matching shirt, and then shop directly from the screen. It couldn't be simpler. And once you've bought your perfect shoes, share your experience in the social corner over coffee. Tweet to your friends your recommended outfit and tell them how shopping just got a whole lot better. So now you can enjoy a tailored shopping experience and never have another wasted day searching around boring high street shops. Join the Dandy Lab community today, the world's first talking shop.
I mean, the video goes on and on, but at the end, I left it running because it uses those kind of key words or key terms. It talks about community. It talks about allowing shoppers to get to the right product as quickly as they can. We also obviously saw ideas of kind of sniffing of phones, and so we're basically allowing personalized experience. So it's just come out. It does a whole bunch of those ideas. I don't think every idea that they put in that video, but it's interesting. These small startups are really kind of trying to push the boundary in terms of the shopper experience. And so, and part of this, one of the trends that's driving this idea of insider exclusives. Once you understand your shopper, what more can you do to elevate the experience? So just going to round off a little bit. What I've done today is taking you through these 10 pillars, okay, and they're driven by trends. And so what we did is we went through, we looked through hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of data, new ideas around the world to try to identify trends. We talked to experts, and they all added up into these bigger ideas, these pillars. And what was interesting is, as I looked at it, I was like, those ideas don't look new. They look like things that would be recommended in 1974. They will look like these are kind of truths to retail. And what's exciting right now is you have these wonderful technologies. There's a whole bunch of sponsors in the room who have this wonderful data systems that can track and help you understand the customer in real time and things like that. And when that tiny rocket ship, you heard about it, is going to get to this next star in 20 years, these are still going to be the same pillars. And so we're in this time when we're trying to work out what's next, trying to work out what we invest our money in. I know it's really difficult. You have Walmart has 1.2 million staff. Target has 320,000 staff. When it comes to technology, what wearable technology are you going to invest in that staff? You're really going to put, it's an impossible question. It's really, really hard. But I think, my recommendation is to take a step back and think about these truths, these constant truths, and then think about how you can then apply, test in different ways. So what 5 places would I suggest you invest in? This idea of automating an intelligent frontline. AI, or artificial intelligence, when it's used in for a specific purpose, it does a really good job. And customers, it will talk in a human way to customers. If you try to get it to do everything, it's going to fall down. But it can do certain things. And AI knows when to pass on a query or conversation to a human being. Talk about human beings, think about how you empower that connected sales force. How do you give them the technology or the systems that allow them to kind of look up customer information, customer history, look up inventory, to really kind of create a better shopper experience. And then as part of that, building the comprehensive customer review. Often data gets siloed in different places. We all get blinded by the term big data. But at the end of the day, that store associate needs to have that information, and that store manager needs to have that information that they can act and kind of respond to customer needs. Content is a big theme. We talked about it sort of a little bit in these examples, but how can you use content along that purchase path? So from a moment of intent, a moment of decision-making, and drive them along that purchase path wherever they physically are. And then equipping the modern shopper to act, allowing them to buy when and where they want. And then just 2 other things I was thinking about as I was listening to the talk this morning. Just 2 more, that's all I got. So, we wrestle with, this is how we always used to do it. And I was thinking, maybe you want to think about heritage versus tradition. Always remember your heritage in terms of what your brand is built on, what your ideals are built on. But it's often time to kind of walk away from your legacy systems and walk away from how you did it. I have a startup in my office who are reinventing the Virgin Megastore. And it's basically, we have a brand. We don't need to think about how Virgin Megastore used to operate. It's just like, we now need to look at how the Supreme sneaker store operates and how Nike ID is operating. And then, as part of that, experience versus product, I wrote an email which Kimberly saw to my newsletter list, and I said, I walked around Soho, Nolita, NoHo, thinking about this talk last weekend, and it was amazing. It was a sunny, bright day, 42 degrees, perfect New York wet day, and I walked around. These temples to the brands were empty. You know, where it was busy, well, it was busy in the cafes next door, it was busy in the restaurants, and it was busy in places where they had invested in the experience. So in Converse store, where they've invested in that customized experience. But I know you can't do that at Converse store everywhere. But where else was it busy? Sephora, where they've invested in the people to create this amazing experience where you can get to learn, try out all that product. So thanks again. Hopefully that was insightful and gave you a few ideas to take away. Thank you.